What's going on, guys? It's ValREcO here with another hot, disgusting beast unlisted gameplay, and this time we're playing with a Doom multiplayer beta. We're on this map called Heat Wave, I think that's what it's called, and we're playing Team Deathmatch. Let's do this! And by the way, if you haven't played the beta is free on the PlayStation Network, Xbox, and Steam if you want to go check that out. But we're not here to talk about Doom, even though it's a tremendous game and all that. We're here to talk about UFC Fight Night Tampa, my hometown, my city. Let's get into the action. And tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go in reverse. Normally I do the main event and go down, but this time we're going to do an honorable mention prelim fight and go up. So that actually is a couple of them, but I want to point out this fight that was in the prelim, and it was called it was a fight between Court McGee and Santiago. His name is Przingabino. I don't know, his Przingabino, something like that. But anyways, I want to point out that this guy's definitely going to be a threat in the future in the lightweight division. He won tonight by knockout, and his leg kicks were tremendous. That's what got me to pay attention to him, because people forget to throw leg kicks for some reason, even though they're one of the most effective strikes. Those are, if anybody knows ValREcO, or you know what I mean, they know that I love me some leg kicks. Leg kicks are the best. I don't know why, I just love leg kicks more than an uppercut, a haymaker, a flying knee, or whatever. You know, I like leg kicks. I don't know why. I just love the sound, and I know how effective they are. You know, to a fighter who absorbs tons of leg kicks, they're gonna be fucked the rest of the fight if it goes to 5 rounds. You know, so they got to protect that leg. But moving on, let's also talk about how John Dawson murked Manuel. I think it's Manvel. It's not even Manuel. It's Manvel Gamburian or whatever. John Dawson comes out and beats the shit out of him. He just fucks them all up against the cage, and then proceeds to throw like 70 fucking uppercuts. What seemed like 75 uppercuts, you know, in 3.5 seconds to this man's face, and wins by KO in the first fucking round, literally in the first minute. It was just disgusting. Oh, and he also called out Demetrius Johnson. He said, "I'm coming for you, motherfucker," all that good stuff. You know how they do at the end of the fight. He's definitely a threat to Demetrius Johnson, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, he's more of a threat than most of the division, because obviously Demetrius has cleaned out the division. You know, and he's going to beat the shit out of Henry Cejudo as far as I'm concerned. So, John Dawson seems like a viable matchup that they should, you know, definitely look into putting on. So, we move on to the main card, and I picked, you know, against this man, but he ended up proving me wrong and beating the shit out of his opponent. Swanson wins by decision against, I think his name is Diaz from Brazil. Diaz had a good fucking first round. Like, he was doing good. Like, he was throwing leg kicks that were definitely affecting. You know, he just stopped. Like, I don't know what he was doing. He has a glass chin. He got knocked down twice by Swanson. I mean, and you could tell when somebody has a weak chin when they start fighting defensive. Like, right out the gate, they're just defensive. You know, that some people would say, "Oh, well, he's a counter striker." Yeah, I get all that. But, I mean, when you're just backing down for 3 whole rounds, obviously you're scared to get punched, and then when you do get punched, you get dropped off a fucking jab. Like, it's ridiculous. So, you know, and Diaz, he was throwing, like I said, the kicks, and then he just stopped. Like, he just stopped what he was doing. Like, and they were strong leg kicks, too, because he trains with, you know, Jose Aldo, and that fucker's the leg kick god. Just go watch Uriah Hall versus Jose Aldo, or why am I calling him Jose? Fucking Christ, Jose Aldo. Disrespectful on my part. I just realized what I was saying. Jose Aldo has one of the most violent, you know, leg kick montages on the internet against fucking Uriah Faber. Like, it was just a disgusting. He has disgusting leg kicks, you know. So, you know, I don't know why Diaz stopped throwing leg kicks, and that were definitely effective. And then he was just backing down the rest of the fight, and just got beat up, you know, got dropped. And then at the end of the fight, you got Swanson hovering over him, dropping bombs, leg kicks to his thighs, while fucking Diaz was trying to pull guard or whatever he was trying to do. Look at that clean double kill right there. But that's pretty much what happened in their fight. It's not really much to talk about. Cub Swanson proves me wrong. I ended up picking against him, and I regret it at this very moment. Cub Swanson gets a decision victory. So let's move on to the next fight, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov, whatever. It's hard to say his fucking name. A Russian beast. A fucking beast. I think he's Muslim too, by the way, because, he was doing the whole, kiss the mat, stuff like that. So, I think he's from, I don't know where the fuck he's from. I think he's half Muslim, half Russian, half, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. But he just beat the shit out of his opponent. That's the point of the fucking situation here, that he just beat the fuck out of his opponent. It was bad. He grabbed that motherfucker Horcher, drug him to the mat during the first round, and just beat the shit out of him. And Horcher got saved by the bell. And then the second round, he just came out and just took him back down on the mat again, beat him down, got him in like a crucifix, and at one point, and just beat the shit out of him. And then switched over to he got his back, and then beat him up some more, and just eventually he won by TKO, and that's a wrap for that guy in the second round. So that's pretty much. There's nothing really to talk about. I mean, we knew this was gonna happen. There's nothing really to talk about. Just a classic performance by Khabib, and that's pretty much it with that fight. So let's get to what I think is the most exciting fight of the night. It's Rose Namajunas versus Tecia Torres. I picked Tecia Torres to win based off her being hotter, and I didn't really pay attention to Rose Namajunas, and I realized like with the build up or whatever, how they put the pre-fight video package, with the hype music and the intense music and their punching bags and they're sparring. And, it builds the hype before the fight. I realized that I actually watched Rose fight before, and I just forgot about her. I have terrible memory. Let's be honest. Let me just be honest with you. I have terrible fucking memory. I just have bad. I leave the oven on all the time. It's all kinds of retarded shit I do. So I didn't remember her, and then I immediately regretted not picking her once the fight started. But then I shifted my pick back to Tecia Torres. I was like, oh shit, Tecia could still win. She could save my pick. No, she could do it. And I felt like I feel like she won the fight, but it was too close to call to where it was like, oh, one person got robbed of the other. It wasn't like it was a bad decision. It was one of those fights where you're like, thank God I'm not a fucking judge, because I don't want to have to judge that shit. So, basically, Namajunas wins by decision, beats Tecia Torres. Now they're tied 1-1 because actually Tecia Torres and Namajunas have fought before. So, they'll probably have a trilogy, soon, eventually, if one of them jokers win the belt. But I doubt it when you got fucking Yolanda Jędrzejczyk just sitting there fucking, licking her chops, beating the shit out of everybody in her way. So I wouldn't want to be in the strawweight division. Even as being a man, I'm not trying to get in a fucking fight with Jędrzejczyk. I'm not trying to get beat up. Just no, I'm not doing it. Fuck you, Dana. I'm not getting in there and fighting her. So let's move on to the main event of the evening. We had Glover Teixeira versus Sugar Rashad Evans. And they were showing the polls from Twitter on who people thought was going to win, and it was pretty close, but people were thinking that Rashad Evans was going to win, which isn't a bad pick either way, Glover or Rashad. It's hard to pick against either one of them, but I said, you know what, I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to pick Glover Teixeira, and I think I picked him to win by finish in the third round. I don't know what it was going to be. I don't think it was going to be a submission. I didn't know if it was going to be a submission or a KO. I didn't really know. I just thought he was going to win in the third, but it didn't go that far. It didn't need to. Glover Teixeira puts the pressure on Rashad Evans, gets him against the cage, catches him with a left hand. That drops him, and he's almost out on his feet, and then he punches him in the face with a right hand as he's got a knee on the ground, and just puts Rashad Evans straight to sleep, straight like that. And that's pretty much what happened. There's nothing more to talk about. There was nothing this guy Glover didn't even work up a sweat. You know what I mean? He did more exercising, in his ring walk than he did in the octagon. That's how fast that fight finished. So, you know, I don't know what's next for Rashad Evans. Maybe retire. I mean, he's lost 2 in a row. This time by knockout. You know, I mean, he's been a world champion. There's nothing more to fight for. You know, once you become world champion, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing more to fight for. I mean, you've hit the top. You've hit the, you know, the plateau. And, you know, I don't know what he's going to do after that. You know, I just think he needs to go ahead and, you know, call it a career. But, all in all, it was a good card. Good card. If you watch the prelims, you definitely got more fights and more entertaining fights. There was a few snore fests, but you know, like I always say, I don't watch that shit live. I watch it semi-live to where I can fast forward through all the snore fests and get to the action. It keeps the card more exciting than fucking sitting there and getting pummeled by fucking Chrysler commercials and hug fest. You know what I mean? You know me. I don't like them fucking hug fests. Like, if you're going to take somebody down, submit them. Don't sit there and fucking, you know, breathe on their chest for fucking 3 rounds. It's boring. But, you know, all in all, a good card. All that bullshit, you know, it was a tremendous card. Go over to share it. Let him know that he's here to play. And he's trying to go back to the top of the light heavyweight division. And make some noise. But, you know, nevertheless, hope you enjoyed the video. Twitter.com/ValREcO. YouTube.com/ValREcO. And I'm out of this bitch. Peace.